Let's be honest, right from the jump, this was one of those moments that Meghan Markle probably wishes never made it to the internet. A short clip, a casual dance, nothing meant to be serious, and yet, once again, it turned into a full-blown media storm. When footage of Meghan and Prince Harry dancing surfaced, the reaction wasn't warm, it wasn't celebratory, and it definitely wasn't forgiving. Social media lit up instantly, not because the moment was joyful, but because it felt painfully forced. And when satire platforms like The Daily Show stepped in, a show known for dissecting public figures with brutal honesty, the moment crossed from harmless fun into public ridicule. This wasn't gossip. This was optics, and the optics were bad. What made the situation worse wasn't just the dancing itself, it was everything that came with it. Meghan has spent years carefully curating an image of control, elegance, and moral authority. Every move, every appearance, every interview is tightly managed. So when the public sees a moment that looks awkward, rehearsed, and oddly disconnected, it clashes hard with the brand she's been selling. Jon Stewart didn't need to attack her personally. Satire works by exposing contradiction. The contradiction here was obvious, a couple constantly speaking about authenticity suddenly appearing anything but authentic. Comedy doesn't invent flaws, it magnifies what people are already seeing. Now let's talk about why The Daily Show audience reacted the way they did. This wasn't about dance skill. Nobody expects Meghan Markle to be Beyoncé. The issue was performance versus reality. For years, critics have accused Meghan of trying too hard to appear relatable while simultaneously positioning herself as morally superior to the institutions she criticizes. That tension has never gone away. So when a fun, carefree dance moment lands flat, it feeds into a long-running narrative that her public persona feels scripted rather than spontaneous. Jon Stewart's brand of humor thrives on moments exactly like this, where public figures unintentionally validate criticism without saying a word. Social media didn't need instructions on how to react. The comments, stitches, duets, and reaction videos wrote the story in real time. People weren't laughing because they hate joy, they were laughing because the moment felt staged, uncomfortable, and painfully self-aware. In the age of viral authenticity, forced relatability is a death sentence. Influencers survive by being real. Politicians survive by being strategic. Celebrities survive by being charming. Meghan tries to be all three at once, and moments like this expose how difficult that balance really is. Jon Stewart's commentary, subtle, sarcastic, and unmistakably cutting, landed because it echoed what audiences were already thinking. He didn't need to exaggerate. The humor came from understatement, from letting the clip speak for itself. And that's what makes this sting more than tabloid headlines ever could. When satire enters the conversation, it means the story has crossed into cultural relevance. Meghan wasn't being mocked as a private citizen, she was being analyzed as a public figure who actively seeks attention, influence, and validation from the public sphere. This also feeds into a bigger issue Meghan has never fully escaped: overexposure. When you position yourself as a constant commentator on media behavior, public ethics, and institutional failure, you invite scrutiny at every level. You don't get to demand seriousness while performing casual relatability. Audiences are smart. They can sense when a moment exists for cameras rather than connection. And once that suspicion takes root, even harmless clips become ammunition. That's not bullying, that's the cost of branding yourself as a symbol instead of a person. Prince Harry's presence in the clip didn't soften the reaction either. If anything, it reinforced the awkwardness. Harry, once viewed as the more relaxed and likable half of the couple, now appears increasingly uncomfortable in these public moments. The chemistry doesn't feel natural anymore, and viewers notice. The laughter online wasn't cruel, it was observational. People were reacting to what they saw, not what they were told to believe. And that distinction matters. This wasn't a rumor mill. This was visual evidence doing the talking. What really fuels the backlash is fatigue. Public goodwill is not unlimited, and Meghan's constant positioning as misunderstood, mistreated, and morally elevated has worn thin for many viewers. So when something as simple as a dance becomes a talking point, it's not about the dance, it's about everything that came before it. Years of interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and public grievances have built a context where audiences feel entitled to critique. Fair or not, that's the environment she helped create. Jon Stewart didn't destroy Meghan with insults. He held up a mirror, and the reflection wasn't flattering. Satire succeeds when it reveals truth through humor, and the truth here is uncomfortable. Meghan's attempt to appear effortlessly relatable continues to backfire. The more she tries to control her narrative, the more moments like this slip through the cracks and undermine it. And once comedy gets involved, the narrative becomes harder to reverse. At the end of the day, this wasn't a scandal, it was a signal. A signal that Meghan Markle's public image remains deeply polarized. A signal that audiences are no longer willing to accept carefully packaged authenticity. And a signal that even light-hearted moments can become liabilities when trust is already fragile. The laughter wasn't just about a dance, it was about credibility.